Hello there everyone, the Jedi Brick here, and today I'm really excited to show you guys a mock that I've been working on for a few months now. This is my custom version of Jabba's Palace with the pictures and everything of the sail barge just releasing. I thought this would be a great time to show you guys this, and I've been working on this for a while, and I'm pretty satisfied with the overall build and everything of it, so I thought I would share it with you guys, so let's take a look at it. So this entire build is a combination of one of the Boba Fett's throne rooms and just a bunch of pieces and stuff I've had in my parts collection. I just threw together to put this all together. It keeps pretty much the same shape as the original Boba Fett's throne room. That's kind of what I based this off of, and some other stuff I'll get into later on in the video, but a lot of the play features in that set are the same. I also added a few of my own that I think are really cool. So let's take a look at the watchtower first. I figured I would just start off with the more boring tower first, or the more boring part of the building. This is the watchtower. The majority of this stayed the same from the original set. I did improve the height just a little bit, especially there at the top. You guys can kind of see that. I actually should raise that a little bit so you can see how much taller this is than the other one. My main issue with the other, or the Boba Fett's throne room, was how short and stubby this whole thing was. So I brought it up quite a few uh, bricks and everything. You can see we have a little interior there where you could place a minifigure to be on lookout and everything to protect Jabba. And down below that we have this other little room. Not a whole lot in there. There's not a lot of floor space either. I can show you guys that. That's because I wanted to maintain the main play feature of this set, which is having the door open, and that's something that out of everything, I really wanted to maintain that one feature. So you just push out on that. You can move the droid and everything, so that's really cool. But you just use that, you lift it up, and once it gets past this little threshold right there, you just push out the eye, and it just kind of rests on there like that. So I wanted to keep that feature intact, and I think that was a very important one to have. So I'm pretty satisfied with the way that turned out. I also did kind of expand. I just give it a bit more um, to the back by one stud. So I just brought that back a little bit. You can see at the top of the roof how I did that. I did change up quite a bit of this, I believe, at least at the top anyway, but you can see all of that right there. So I'm pretty pleased with the way this turned out. If I go all the way back to the bottom, to the front again, you can see I kept this turret thing there. I think that looks really cool. Didn't really have an issue with that. One other thing that I changed about this is it used to have some clips, or not clips, like hinges that would connect to the rest of the build, just like it would be on a hinge plate, so it could open in and out like that. I wasn't a huge fan of that, so I decided to make it Technic instead. So I just put two Technic pins right there, and now it can just kind of be snapped into the rest of the build. I can move it around. I could, leave it off if I wanted to. So it just gives me a bit more of customizing and storage options for that, unlike the original set. And with that snapped back into place, I'll show you guys the interior of the Jabba's Palace. I am pretty satisfied with the way this looks. I expanded it quite a bit from the original Boba Fett's palace. Of course, I gave it a lot more life and a lot more detail. It might be a little bit hard to see in there, mostly because of just how dark it is with the roof, but I'll do my best to get my lighting as far in there as possible. I think that does improve it a little bit. It does have a pretty big roof on there as well, so it's not really the easiest thing to get a lot of light in there, but I'm hoping it comes off pretty nice. So here we have the interior for Jabba's Palace. I'll actually just snap that off, so that's over there. And like I said, I really expanded it. I kind of put it around the same size as the 2012 or the 2013 Jabba's Palace. That was a big inspiration behind this one as well. And another inspiration that I had behind this was the M&R Productions when he took two of the set and made it better. He combined two of them, so that was a big inspiration really behind the roof. That was mostly what I used as a reference, but starting off, I guess I'll go back to the back here. I did make it another level higher, about 2 or 3 studs taller, so I just wanted it to be a bit higher, and obviously I changed the entire roof and everything. But one feature that I did leave in is how the back can just snap off. You can see the inside there as well. Did change that around a little bit with the kitchen and everything, so that's a little bit different. I also changed up the back here. This is kind of the less camera friendly angle where I've got some stuff going on there. But I'll show you guys that in just a minute. Um, I'm not really sure where I even want to start with this. I'll start off with the minifigures, I guess. Just what I put in there in explanation. So behind here, I've got, just some aliens, a lot of them from the Mos Eisley Cantina or just from the original Boba Fett set. I've got a Quarren, I've got a Weequay guard, I have 2 Gamorrean guards right there. Um, I forget what that species is called. One of the hammerheads. I got this guy from the Cantina with his arm taken off. I got Boba Fett right there. I have a Trandoshan. And on the inside, it's a little hard to see, but I have the Dancer right there. I, of course, have Jabba. I have Bib Fortuna. And I have 3PO all the way there in the back. He's probably really hard to see, but he is there. And over here on the side, I have 2 Bith musicians just for a bit more detail. I don't think there really were any Bith in this scene, but I decided to throw them in there just because why not. Um, in terms of what we have going on here for detail, I used the sticker piece from the Boba Fett Palace just for a bit more detail and everything, just to make it less bland looking, and I used the parts from his throne on either side for just some, again, more detail. I have some pillars right here, nothing really going on with those. In the background, you'll see the pillars have like helmets and stuff on there. That's from a Ninjago Anacondri warrior, I believe. On the other side, I have one of the helmets from one of the Knights of Ren, a red button over there, a little keypad over there to control the carbonite right there. So I figured I'd just throw in Han Solo in carbonite right there. I think that looks really cool. I really wanted to put that in, but I wasn't sure where else I would be able to, so I just kind of put him over on the side there. He's just attached with some clip pieces. We have a play feature, which I'll get into in a moment. I'm sure some of you guys already know what that is, but one other thing I wanted to show you guys before I get to that is the entire roof is completely detachable. That's one thing I knew I wanted to do with this from the very start. I wanted to have access inside, really mostly for this review to show you guys what's going on. So you just kind of take this whole part. It's only attached by 3 studs on both sides, and that just comes completely off. And showing you guys the roof, I really wasn't sure how I was going to do this. Of course, everyone knows how like round and everything Jabba's the palace roof is, and I just could not figure out how to do that with the parts in my collection. I really wanted to use more of these pieces right there, but I just didn't have any others in my collection. So this is kind of the thing I came up with. This like using some slopes and stuff on the sides to make it look more round, and then I added like a circle and everything on the top there, and one of these dome pieces, really just to kind of give the suggestion of a rounder roof. And the rest is kind of flat. I have these like bars on both sides, kind of like what was in the original set. Some of these round pieces at the front just to give it a bit more shape and make it less blocky. And I have one of those on the other side as well for the back. You can see probably how I did that. It wasn't too hard, but I think it's a pretty good way of going at it. I really just did not know how else to do it without having those pieces, and they are pretty expensive online too. It's a pretty pricey piece if you want multiple of them. But now with the roof off the top, you can really get to see what's going on over near Jabba's throne. So there isn't really a lot to talk about over here. I have Jabba right there. This is the like early original mold for Jabba. I don't have the newer one, so I'm not really sure how well that new one would fit on there, but I designed this one specifically for this mold of Jabba, so that's what I use. I use the Bib Fortuna from the newer Boba Fett set. I got 3PO'd back there, the Dancer from that same set. the overall base of the throne, I think, is the exact same size and everything as it was for the Boba Fett throne. I just kind of took off the throne, added some more detail. I added a lot more dark red on there just to, like, to represent like the blankets and pillows he has all over his throne. So there's some like dark red and stuff on there. Actually, I'll lift up Jabba so you can see a bit more of that. He's kind of a pain to get on and off there when the throne's like in its place, but he does fit on there pretty well. Um, yeah, moving back a little bit, you can see I have Luke Skywalker standing before him, and I'm going to show you guys my favorite feature, and the one that I knew I wanted in this set is the trap door. So I mentioned this little Technic pin right here. All you have to do is pull that out, and it's pretty anticlimactic the way it is right now, but he can fall all the way through in theory if it's just elevated enough so he goes right through there to where the Rancor pit would be. I don't have the Rancor pit yet. I kind of want to build my own custom version for this, but that can just go back on there. And now another awesome part of this set, I'll move some of these guys out of the way, but this whole throne can move forward all the way over to where this the great piece is. So, like in the movie, the throne moves forward. He can watch Luke beat the Rancor and everything. So that's another thing that I really wanted in this build. So this entire throne, these minifigures are kind of getting in the way, but the entire throne is kind of on these like bar pieces, so it can just kind of slide thanks to the tiles underneath. So it can go back and it can go forward. I'm so pleased with this. I'm really happy the way this turned out. I honestly love it. This is my favorite part of this, the trapdoor, and the fact that I made the actual throne slide forward. I think that's really cool. And just because why not, I'll show you guys here the underbelly of the palace. Obviously, it's not the most camera-friendly angle of this. This is not intended to be displayed like this, but if you guys wanted to build this at home, you guys could really just see how, like, the dimensions and stuff of it. If you guys want Rebrickable instructions and stuff, enough people like really want them, I would be more than happy to make some for you guys. But it's not really the hardest thing to build, especially since it's very similar to the original build. Just kind of expanded, like a little mix of the 2012 and the Boba Fett throne room. It's kind of just a mix of those two, but yeah. One thing I really wanted to do when building this, like I said earlier, was keep it in relative size to that 2012 one, because I really want to get that Rancor pit and, just kind of modify it a little bit to fit this one. I really expanded this one, maybe like 4 studs or something. I'm not exactly sure, but it's just slightly longer than that one. So that should be a pretty easy mod if I do get that one. So, that's kind of why I wanted to keep it in the same dimensions. But you can see the trapdoor mechanism here as well. Actually, if I take that off, you can really just see it. It's very simple. Just using a Technic pin and a Technic axle and everything. It's very, very simple, but very, very effective. You can see the little grate up there where they would look through. I kind of left that one empty so it's more visible. So if I do get the Rancor pit, it would be easier to look down into. But other than that, there's not really a whole lot to talk about with this area. It's just, in terms of like the foundation, it's plate, brick, and then another plate, just to get the height and everything. So that's what I did. I think that's the same method they used for the 2012 one. So that's pretty much what I was just copying. There's some Technic stuff on both sides here. I might add some more to expand it, but that's something that's going to happen way down the line. But that would be cool to kind of like add the extra room that was on the Boba Fett throne room. I think that would be a really cool thing to put in there, like a drinking area or something like right over on the side. That would be really cool, but not really something I'm actively thinking about right now. But that's going to do it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sure this was a very chaotic video to watch. I really had no idea how I was going to properly show this off. I kept wanting to jump to the next thing, but I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys really want instructions, like I said, I will make a Rebrickable one, but I think the overall build and everything of this is simple enough where if you just watch this video maybe a few times, like just take little pictures and stuff, you can kind of get the idea of how I built this, like reverse engineer it type thing. That's kind of what I did with the M&R production video, and that's kind of where I got some of the design parts from it. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. This is a lot of fun to put together. Like I said, I do kind of want to expand it now that I'm thinking about it. I think that would be really cool, but I don't really have the space for something like that right now. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I keep saying, subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Bye.